Hi, I'm Cornell Hunter, and our objective today is to try and move some sales techniques from the things that I've experienced into the audience of account executives or Equinaire agents that we have today. You'll find that there's a couple of things that we want to try to accomplish. The first thing is the rule of selling. And I see that there are three of them essentially. It's one, moving our customer from neutral through affinity into ownership. And of course, in that process, they buy. The second is an understanding that sales is creating win-win relationships. There is no such thing as a win-lose relationship. There's either win-win or lose-lose. And so we want to make sure we're creating win-win relationships so that everyone wins. The last thing is an understanding that sales is a skill, and as such, it is a learned skill. And that's really the whole thrust of the program that we have over the last 3 days. So we recognize that our salespeople are going to go through a lot of skills, that they're going to understand a lot about customers, whether they're type A or type B. We're going to talk about Maslow and his hierarchy going back to 1954, and it's still valid today. That customers buy for certain psychological reasons, and if we can understand those reasons, then we can position our Equinaire benefits and products in a way that, that customers are more likely to buy. We also understand that customers come to us with a specific way that they enjoy learning or taking in information. That's either visually, auditorially, or kinesthetically. And that if we can understand that, we can, again, position our conversations with our customers so that they're more apt to buy. We talk about an old psychological model that I enjoyed called transactional analysis. It's the old I'm okay, you're okay. Some of you may remember it. I think that it's still valid today, and we walk through an understanding of what a customer brings to us in terms of their dominance and submissiveness, and also in terms of their hostility or warmth. And if we can understand that some customers come to us as dominant hostiles or as submissive hostiles or submissive warm people, we can understand that our customers bring that sort of psychology to the table, then we can also address that as a part of our sales process. If you look over, once we're done with the full understanding of a customer's psychology, we then want to talk about skills that can be employed that can help our account executives or our Equinaire sales agents really hone in on ultimately getting to close. While a close is a summary of benefits accepted and a request for a commitment, there are an awful lot of skills that can lead up to that, including the skill of active listening. How many of you have ever had children that you just thought never listened to you? Well, we find out that oftentimes it's because we didn't listen to them. And we find that there's a fair exchange of us demonstrating a good listening habit and then getting good results as a result. So we are going to present and give some good active listening skills. We talk about probes, whether they're open or closed. An open probe leads a person to wax philosophically, for lack of a better word. We can ask them a question that can open them up and make them answer it in any way possible, or we can ask a more direct question when we're ready for the close. We also talk about strokes. The deep, abiding need in humankind is the desire to be recognized, and strokes do that for us. And then we're talking about handling objections, and there are ways to handle it, because all of our customers don't tell us yes. In fact, I teased the class that I say if every customer told us yes, then of course Equinaire would be overpaying us. The fact of the matter is some customers do say no. And what distinguishes the successful salesperson from the unsuccessful salesperson is that once the customer says no, what do we do then? And of course, the way we handle an objection is to rephrase to clarify. Again, that's an active listening skill. We acknowledge what the customer is saying, again, an active listening skill. And then we offer alternative benefits. If the customer is looking for a blue wall, and all we have are beige walls, and we can't make the wall blue, we can't paint it, we can't do anything, we've got a really true objection. The customer wants a blue wall, we only have beige, we have to figure out how to sell them the beige wall. And the right way of doing it is to offer alternative benefits, and then either using closed probes to do that, or downright suggesting them, and then asking for a commitment. We also talked about transition statement, which is a statement of assumed need followed by a general benefit. And we looked at ways that once the general conversation is over and you're done with the howdy-doos and the shake hands and the sports discussions or whatever it is you use as a salesperson, when that's done and it's time to get to business, there's a way to get down to business, and it's using a transition statement. And we talked about very clear ways of doing that. Finally, when all is said and done, and we've implemented all of the skills that we need to, there is the close. And if it's one thing that I've suggested salespeople tend to leave out in the majority of their presentations, it's the request for a commitment. So the right way to do a close is to summarize those benefits that have been accepted and then to request a commitment. AEs and Equinaire agents tend to leave out the request for a commitment. So we spent a little bit of time talking about what kinds of commitments that an Equinaire sales agent can ask for, how they can interact with the customer so that they're certain to get those commitments. And we talked probably about 20 different closing techniques, which are nothing more than 20 different ways of asking for a commitment, so that regardless of what kind of a psychological model that we're dealing with, as you recall up front, regardless of what the customer brings to the table, we have a skill, a technique, and a tool that can address that customer's needs. What's most important is the value exchange, the win-win that we talked about initially. That we as Equinaire sales agents understand that we've got an awesome product, a fabulous company, great service, and before the customer goes down the street to find something much inferior, it's our job as good sales guys to make sure that the customer sticks with us, gets our product, and enjoys what they have. Thank you very much, and I look forward to working with you in the future.